Okay, I got some random jars. I got nice clean lids. They're used. It's not going to be a problem for vacuum sealing. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. Going to use freeze-dried vegetables, and I'm going to put them in individual jars, and then I'm going to put all these jars in the freeze dryer and use the vacuum chamber, use the pump as a vacuum chamber to seal all of these at one time. I'll show you how to do that with the freeze dryer. Okay. I have the trays out of the freeze dryer. There's a red release here. You need to move that out and push this and pop that out, and it pops. There's rubber seals in there, keep water out. Anyway, now we can go ahead and tuck that in there and get a piece of wood for inside this tank, and go ahead and put a piece of wood in there so that we can put some jars on top of there just to keep them level. Okay, I got a piece of wood. Just anything will do. Plastic, wood, aluminum, steel, doesn't matter. Just something to lay down and put your jars on. Your jars will be going in and sitting there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get those jars ready. Okay, nothing fancy about this. I'm just going to open this bag up and dump everything in to each of the jars and fill them up pretty well, and then we'll wipe each of the lids, each of the rims, so that the lid will seal properly. So you want to keep dust off of the rubber, dust and oil off of here. So as soon as I get each one done, I'll cap them real quick, because I don't want them sitting out in the moisture in the air and absorbing water back after I work so hard to get them dry. So that's all. Just try to work quickly, get them capped, and move on. So make sure there's no dust on the rim. Okay, and then go ahead and put the lid on. Put the ring on and snug it pretty good, and then tap this so that any dust will go to the bottom, okay, and not be sitting on top and get pulled out, get stuck on the rim whenever you're pulling a vacuum. Okay, now the important part, which all of it is this is now tight, okay, sort of. You're going to want to take this 1/4 turn. So you can put a mark there and do, after you get it started, do 1/4 turn. That's it. That'll allow that, see that moves, okay? So 1/4 turn only, put that in there. 1/4 turn only. You want this not to pop off, but to be just loose so you can move it. So about a 1/4 turn, no more. Okay, and do all of them just like that and put them in. Okay, once you have that done, your rubber seal's on, double latch it, make sure you got a dark ring around there that shows that it's got a seal. Okay, close the drain valve. This is one method that I'm going to show you. This is the one I have to use because I have an older freeze dryer. Okay, mine has the control panel down there at the bottom, so I can't go into maintenance mode that I know of. I don't know of any way to do it on this model. Anyway, close the drain valve, make sure that's closed. I'm going to go ahead and start it up normally, just to show you this is an easy way to do it. Okay, we're going to hit the start button. Okay, maybe focus. Okay, we're going to continue. Freezing. Okay, once I do that, I can go ahead and hit the vacuum pump by hitting this clock. And pull a vacuum. I'm going to watch the pressure go down, and when I start getting a good vacuum, it won't let me do it, will it? It might. Might have to keep doing it. It'll pull it. It's going. Yeah, it's going to want to keep shutting off. I know it's a little noisy. My freeze dryer will not let me run this vacuum pump without the cables being hooked in. So I plugged it in. I plugged the vacuum pump in straight. So it's running full time right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on for a second, and it'll check the pressure this way. On the newer models, all you got to do is go into maintenance mode, hit the pump, and it'll show you what the vacuum is. But I can't tell what the vacuum is on this model. So I'm going to go in. There's 2500. So this way I can watch the pressure. It doesn't want to let me do it. There we go. Okay, we're pulling 1800. So I'm going to let it go down a little bit. So I ran that for about, I don't know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, maybe 3 minutes total. So I'm going to check it. We'll get to 1300. That's pretty good vacuum. That's not bad at all. 1200. About as good a vacuum as you're gonna need, I would think. I'll let it go down. Maybe somewhere between 500 and 800. Should be plenty. Or 980, 970, 960. Okay, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to shut it off. It's not super critical what the pressure is, as long as it's pretty darn low. So once it reads on that gauge, it should be pretty darn low. Okay, now I shut off the vacuum pump and I shut off the freeze dryer. Okay, so now we have is the jars in there. Now I'm going to open up the valve, the drain valve, rather quickly, and that air pressure rushing in should slam the lids down on those jars. and we'll see. Let's take a look. Oh yeah. There you go. There you go. Done. I keep the rings on them. I just close them, keep the rings on them. Oh yeah. She's tight. You can see it's dipped in a lot. I've had these when I've done this before, that the lids never pop back out. And that's just the way it is. It pulls such a good vacuum on it. Now there you go. You got individual jars ready to go ahead and put up on the shelf, and you got one serving of soup or whatever you want to put in your jars. That's it. It's that easy. Sort of easy. There you go. 6 nice jars of vacuum sealed vegetables. Now, I've done this before using canner, an old canner that I put a vacuum pump on, and I could do quart jars. Of course, you could do quart jars this way too. I had turkey one time that went 14 years, and I pulled it out and ate it. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with it at all. This will hold a seal for 20 years. And I leave the rings on. Okay? You don't have to, but I'm going to leave the rings on. That's just the way I do it, especially since they're used lids. Okay? Your choice. Try it out. It works great.